Okay, I think that's recording. All right, it's 8:03, so I think we're going to get started. So thank you for coming, everyone. I'm always happy to see a bunch of new faces interested in the IEEE. This meeting is basically going to cover everything that we do during the semester and essentially all of the events and everything that we need to, that you guys should have your eyes on, and essentially all the reasons, all of the perks you get from joining the IEEE. So essentially, first things first, here's what we're going to go over, right? So first things, who are we? Then we're going to go over all the good things that we offer. And then we're going to go over more about what the international organization of the IEEE is just at the end to wrap things up. So getting started, let's just talk real quick about what the IEEE student branch is. So the IEEE student branch here on the Albany campus, it's the SA approved organization that represents the international IEEE on campus. Essentially, our big goal is to, basically be the, branch of the IEEE that represents them at our college campus. And this is through basically just performing the typical outreach functions that you would expect for a branch of an international organization, right? But I should also make the point that we are at the moment the only computer science and computer engineering and electrical engineering organization on campus. All of the other ones, they have all died, unfortunately. That may have been due to how successful we were. That may have just been due to incompetent leadership, but we are now the only computer science organization, as well as computer engineering organization, as well as electrical engineering organization on campus. And we've really tried to grow into that role and take on the job of making sure we mentor students in all of them. So moving on, let's actually talk about what we offer. So the first thing that we offer is our weekly workshops, and these provide introductions on emerging and popular technologies. So we'll go over this a bit more in the next section. But on top of that, we offer company visits and talks and research talks from professors as well. Now, company talks, of course, are very popular with everyone who's trying to get a job after college, and research talks are great for the people planning on going into graduate school, or maybe you're just interested in what your professors are working on. We're going to be offering a few of these this semester. Next up, we have weekly hardware and software project assistance to build your resume. Projects are a really important part of the resume that a lot of people overlook. Not a lot of people think that you need good side projects on your resume, but you really do. So we have once a week, we meet and we work on project assistance and to help you build your resume. Another thing that we do is we offer weekly whiteboard interview prep and resume reviews. And this is especially helpful because I mean for the this is very helpful for the computer science people, right? Because no matter whatever computer science job you're going to be going for, they're going to sit you down and give you some stupid question on an algorithm, and they're going to want to know if you know the time complexity of it. So we do two of these questions every week. So to get your preparation in now is a great way to prepare to eventually go on and do these interviews, right? And we're also going forward going to be offering computer engineering and electrical engineering questions as well for the people in computer engineering and electrical engineering. At the moment, these have kind of been catered to computer science majors. More on that later. So finally, we have, an active online community of engineers. So we have a Discord server, and we are, we're very active. We're willing to answer any questions you guys have, and we're partnered with some other great servers of UAlbany students who, do the same thing. Right? There's a lot of great resources that we have access to online to help out with everything. Finally, we offer technical leadership experience and leadership positions to be filled. So that's another great thing that looks great on your resume is to have some good technical leadership experience under your belt. And these aren't just like joke positions that you sit in and do nothing in. Most of these positions require actual work to be put in, and it's a great way to really train yourself and get ready for what the real world is like after college, especially if you're planning on going into the industry or doing, ever moving up the ranks in a technical position at a company, right? So let's first talk about our primary offering, which is our workshops. So our workshops are basically our big staple events. They're student-hosted presentations on a topic of the presenter's choosing. We let anyone host workshops. So literally anyone can volunteer to host a workshop on a topic that they're passionate about, as long as it's, decently tech related. I'm sorry, you're not allowed to get up here and give a presentation on your favorite Shakespeare novel. unless it's tech related, which you get the drift. So another thing is hosting a workshop. It's a great way to boost your resume. It looks really nice on your resume to say, oh, I hosted a workshop for the IEEE. You see this on a lot of professional resumes as well. And if you have a blog or anything, you can also turn your workshop stuff into a blog post. It's a great way to get stuff on GitHub as well. It's really just all about building a presence for yourself. And, the best way to prove to yourself that you really know a topic is to try and teach other people that topic. So that's one of the great things about hosting workshops. And of course, no one is required to host a workshop except eBoard, but anyone, if you're really interested in it, the idea, and want to do it, we have a workshop every single week. Those slots need to be filled. If no one volunteers, then the eBoard will do the workshop. We'll host a workshop instead. So again, if you're passionate and you want to, show off your knowledge and teach people, workshops are a huge thing that you can get on. So there's potentially three kinds of workshops. It's four left over from last time. Essentially, people can create new presentations, which is a fresh tech demo and a slide deck for a workshop where you essentially are teaching, you're basically creating all of the resources from scratch. Stock presentations is just people reading off of a deck of slides that was pre-made. Could also be old workshop slides that were previously made. We have a lot of old slide decks from old workshops. So if you don't want to put in the time to create your own slide deck, you can reach out and we have a list of slide decks for topics that you could potentially present on. Of course, you should actually know the topic. You shouldn't just get an old slide deck, try and memorize it, because people ask questions during workshops. You're teaching them, right? So finally, technical watch parties. These are some of the more fun ones. You find a good YouTube video or a talk that you really liked, and we sit down and watch it as a group and then discuss it afterwards. And those are some of the more fun ones. We did one of those on quantum computing last semester. So let's actually, I wanted to show off some of the workshops that we did last semester. So last semester was a great semester for workshops. We did one workshop every single week. And you can find all of these on our YouTube channel, actually. This is a list of the videos that we have on our YouTube channel. But let's just take a look over some of the stuff we did, just so you can get a general idea of some of the workshops that we've done. So there's an introduction to development with Unity was one of our first workshops. The first workshop was actually a resume building workshop, building up your profile, development with Unity, Android application basics. We did a personal project showcase, and this actually morphed into a new type of event. We also did coding interview practice, which also morphed into a new type of event. Quantum computing workshop, another Android app workshop, Android app workshop involving camera usage. That we did a introduction to machine learning with neural networks workshop, game engines, intro to GitHub. And then over the winter, we had 3 workshops as well, which I hosted all of. We had the C programming language, x86 assembly and its relationship with C. And then finally, we actually had an operating system development workshop, which was very fun. I see, oh, good. You guys got the chat covered. Thank you, officers. So next up, we have workshops that are currently scheduled for this year. So essentially, keep in mind, we're doing one workshop a week. The host gets to decide what day the workshop gets to be hosted. Of course, this isn't required attendance. You just have to, if anything looks interesting to you, you can come check it out. The only attendance requirements are for people who want to vote in the election, and it's not a very stringent attendance requirement. It's 35% of meetings, and you can vote on the eBoard members for next year. But if you want to run, you have to attend 50% of the meetings. So that's the only attendance requirements that are placed on any of these things. But of course, normal members, we go on the honors system. If you feel like you've reasonably contributed to the club by being here for a sizable portion of the meetings, you can put this on your resume as an organization that you're in. We're not holding people accountable and saying, oh, you can't put that on your resume. But please, it's the honors system. So, if you feel like you've, made a contribution, or you've been to enough stuff that you consider yourself a member, you can throw it on there. So again, all workshops are at 8 p.m. And then these are the workshops that we just scheduled these on Tuesday. Connor is going to be doing a time complexity workshop next week on Thursday. Robin, 2 weeks from now on Wednesday, is going to be hosting a workshop on basically an introduction to the Vim text editor on Linux systems. And well, you can use Vim on any bash system, which includes Windows. You can get Vim on Windows if you so desire. And then finally, Carolyn is going to be hosting an intro to MATLAB, and that's exciting for the computer engineering majors. I hear you guys are using a lot of MATLAB now, so that's going to be a great introduction. I hope. I hope that's a popular one. So moving on, these are actually some of the potential workshop topics that we were discussing at our officer meeting. So if you look over some of these and see anything you're interested in, just let us know. And you know what? We also have a suggestions channel in our Discord. And if there's any topic that you really want to see a workshop on, but you don't necessarily want to host it yourself, feel free to drop it in the suggestions channel and we'll take that into account. And again, if you notice any of these and you're like, oh wow, that would be really fun to learn as a workshop, of course we don't have enough days in the year to host every single one of these workshops. But if we see a lot of interest in one of these, it's more likely to turn into a workshop, right? So feel free to let us know. Moving on, we have, on top of workshops, we have company events and research talks, right? So last semester, those of you who've been with us for a while probably know that last semester we didn't have many company events or research talks. But moving forward this semester, things are looking up. So we're going to have professors come in and talk about their research, members of the industry coming in and discussing their careers and career paths, and representatives of companies giving overviews of what they're working on, and interview panels. And we actually have scheduled one of these already. So Professor Muckle was nice enough to help us schedule this industry interview panel. So we're going to get some people coming in from some companies, and we're going to moderate this, and essentially it's going to be open to the audience for questions, and hopefully there's just going to be a great discussion, a good technical discussion about everyone's careers and how they got into the industry, and how you can get into the industry as well in current situation with COVID and everything. I imagine that's going to be quite the topic for this industry interview panel. We also have an alumni interview panel scheduled. The date is pending on that. It's going to be after this industry interview panel. And finally, we're going to have a research talk on the generation of near-infrared genomic silver clusters via tribute regularized variational autoencoders, which is a machine learning applications research talk from the data mining lab. That's going to be given by me because that's actually the topic that I'm working on. So yes, that's the research talk. The currently scheduled research talk. We're probably, back in the day, we had like 3 research talks this semester. I think we're probably going to move back towards that model. And there's definitely going to be some other research talks and other company talks on here as well. These are just the confirmed ones that we have right now. So moving on top of all of this, we have weekly professional development night. So this is every Monday at 8 p.m. We host professional development night. And what we do at professional development night is we have 2 whiteboard coding interview practice questions. And we pull this from Code Wars, or we pull it from like actual interviews. And basically we spend half an hour actually doing the problems, right? And then after half an hour, we review the solutions. We go over the time complexities of all of the solutions, because of course, that's one of the main things that companies care about in an interview, is the fact that you'll be able to analyze the time complexity and hopefully think up a better algorithm that's faster and works in a better time complexity. And then we go over some common algorithms and some pitfalls on solving these algorithms in certain time complexities. So then finally, we also offer resume reviews, advice, and assistance on Mondays. People haven't really been taking us up on that offer, but that's that's definitely our duty as well during Monday nights, is to give these services out for free to all of the members, and just to help you guys out, really get your resumes in order and everything. And then finally, as previously stated, this semester we're going to be offering computer engineering and electrical engineering practice questions as well, because we are not just a computer science club, even though sometimes it feels like that. I'm sorry, computer engineering members, but this semester we are going to be making a serious effort to give some more help with computer engineering and electrical engineering questions. So I just thought I'd show off some of the stuff that we go over. It's not too hard. We want to make it so the algorithms that we're looking at are essentially just able to be solved by people at any level. And this is really the level that you're going to be working at. Some of the better companies are going to be giving harder interview questions. This is pretty basic stuff, but this is kind of what you would expect to see as a coding interview questions. So I just wanted to demo these as just to give an example of the kind of stuff you'd be working on. So each of these you'd get like 15 minutes for, and then at the end we'd all show off our solutions. These are my solutions to the ones last week, and we test them out and we analyze time complexities of these algorithms and everything. So in general, that's what our Monday nights consist of. On top of that, we also have Friday nights as weekly side project development nights. These meetings are a lot more chill. They're more of like a hangout session where we just discuss side projects and work on side projects. It's really not it's not supposed to be intimidating or like, we're not reviewing, we're not like criticizing other people's projects or anything. It's really just let's pull up, show us what you've worked on, discuss. If you need any help, feel free to pull up and we can give you advice on, what projects would complement your resume. This is a big thing, right? Because whatever company you want to work for, they're probably going to have different ideas of what they would want to see on your resume. And it's a good idea to have projects on your resume that kind of match the jobs that you're applying for. So that's a big one. And then another thing is once you have an idea for a side project, we're available to give advice on what tools and libraries you should be using. And this isn't just software engineering projects. We can also do hardware projects look just as good, Arduinos and everything. And, to get, especially we can also do integrated circuits and everything. Like I'm familiar enough with all of that if you needed help and you want advice with all that, we would also be able to provide help with that. And then finally, of course, we work on the side projects, right, as well. So this is, in the past, this hasn't been as prevalent. Normally it was just a discussion, but going forward, we're going to make it like 2 hours. Of course, you don't have to stay for the whole thing. You can pull up whenever, but we're going to give people time to actually work on their projects and not just be lectured on, what libraries are available and everything. So here are some of the projects that have actually been discussed and had advice given to them at Side Project Development Night. So these are some projects by some of our members. So we have the first thing is the UAlbany IEEE 3D website, which I designed. We can visit it. So this is the IEEE website that was developed. This is in Three.js. It's actually a 3D application where you can, run around. It's all in browser. So this was actually a really fun application to develop. You run up to these obelisks, and then you get your page that tells you when stuff is going on. The page hasn't been updated, but you can also like teleport and stuff. So this was one of our primary applications that we discussed a lot during side project, especially the early side project development nights. So enough with the website, back to the presentation. How do I full screen this again? Come on. Here we go. On top of that, we also have Hello OS, which is a bare bones operating system. This was actually developed at a workshop, but I talked a lot about it at side project development nights before going in. So this is an actual like bare bones operating system developed like in assembly language, like from scratch, essentially, that we're not using any tools or anything. If you want to see it, I actually have VirtualBox up right here just to demo it. Here's Hello OS. Gonna run it, booting up, and look at that. All it does, it's an operating system that just prints out hello to the console, right? So that's a basic hello world operating system from scratch. That was one of the things that we discussed at side project development nights. June over the winter came in and developed this piano trainer app in Android, which was a very cool application. It was really fun watching him progress with it and just really build up the application. He had some hiccups along the way, and we were happy to, step in and give it any advice that we could. He's a great programmer though, so he worked through a lot of this himself and solved a lot of issues. And it was fun to hear about those issues along the way and see how he solved them. On top of that, we have SIA Explorer, which is, I don't know how many of you have taken 4.0, I believe it's 404 with Phipps, who does the SIA class, where essentially this is assembly language, and you have to assemble the assembly language into machine code, and then you run your machine code on a virtual machine. This is a Fibonacci sequence program that gets assembled into machine code. So as you can see right here, we have our assembly language code right here. We assemble it. It auto-assembled at the start of this, but it assembles into all of this machine code. We go to our virtual machine area right here, and we can step the VM. And as you can see on the stack down here, we are printing out Fibonacci sequence numbers. So this was a really fun application to work on, and I had a lot of fun talking about this with everyone at Side Project Development Night as well. So Next up, we have the IEEE attendance bot. This was developed by our secretary, Tony. And this is a great bot that basically automatically keeps track of when people join the Discord calls for events. So we don't actually have to take attendance ourselves. The bot figures out when everyone's got to the meeting, how long everyone's been at the meeting, and it just writes their name down for all of these events, which is great. And then finally, the last project is Wireshrek. It's basically just Wireshark, but done like in 2 days in Python. Um, Next up, another one of our many benefits is our thriving online community and Discord server. So we have a great large online presence as well as an online community. We have basically accounts on all social media platforms that you could possibly think of. We use Discord as our primary communication platform. Some of the bigger events are definitely going to be on Zoom. The main reason we use Discord is number one, bot development. Bot development is a great thing. Zoom does not offer this, as well as just the fact that it's real-time communication. It's basically like Zoom plus GroupMe in like one item, if that's how you want to think of it. And we're also partnered with some of the largest UAlbany servers. We're partnered with the official SUNY Albany Discord. We're partnered with the UAlbany Computer Science Discord, and they're really great. I see we got a lot of people in that as well, and they're always willing to help out with any computer science related questions you might have. And we're also partnered with the UAlbany CDO, which is all of the cybersecurity guys over there. So there again, we got great partnerships. A lot of the tech clubs and tech organizations, like they're all on Discord. So that's one of the other reasons we use Discord as our primary platform. Essentially, we use Discord, to chat with other users, collaborate, and get help with projects, resume reviews, and much more. So essentially, this is just we there's always people on Discord if you want to chat about any technical topics or any of the stuff from like the other events. Like if you want to discuss side projects, but it's not side project development night, or if you want to discuss programming questions, we're always available to chat about that. At least I am. So going forward, we also have finally leadership opportunities. Now, this is another thing that's great to put on your resume. Colleges like to see, like everyone likes to see extracurriculars. It's not extracurriculars weren't limited to high school. People are going to like to see extracurriculars. Name dropping the IEEE, everyone knows who the IEEE is. So you say you're in the IEEE, or if you say you're in a leadership position in the IEEE, that's even more impressive. So I'm just going to go over some of the positions we offer. Essentially, we have 3 levels of positions. We have the e-board, which is the executive board, and these positions are elected. There's a vote at the end of the semester. Well, not the semester, but the year, this year, which is the end of this semester, for these positions. And those positions are the chair, that's me, hello, the vice chair, the graduate vice chair, the treasurer, and the secretary. And these are essentially the positions that there's also the webmaster is currently a e-board level position as well, but that's going to be moved down to director next year. Next up, we have the junior chair, the junior vice chair, junior treasurer, and junior secretary. These positions get interviewed for. Contrary to popular belief, these positions do not automatically turn into e-board positions the year after the next year. E-board positions have to be elected. So essentially, these positions aren't guaranteed to become e-board members, but considering the fact that they've put so much time into trying to become that position, it's kind of rare that they wouldn't get voted in unless they did something like really wrong. But yes, e-board positions are elected. Anyone can run for these as long as you meet the 50% attendance criteria. J-board positions are interviewed for. D-board positions, which are the board of director positions, essentially. We have our communications director, our outreach director, our social media director, and our intelligence director. And all of these positions, essentially, they basically serve under the e-board and they help out with day-to-day things. The communications director is probably the one who sent you whatever email you received to get into this Zoom meeting. The outreach, the social media director posts on social media. We have 2 of those at the moment, a YouTube and Twitter one and an Instagram one. And we have the intelligence director, who's kind of like our lobbyist to the SA. They go and, inspect the SA, make sure that we're getting fair representation in the student association, which is, it's a great thing to have. And you know what? If you feel like a position isn't represented here, and you want a position this semester, normally all of these positions are interviewed for in October's. But if you feel like there's a position that I have not seen and you want a leadership position and you're super dedicated, reach out to me and I will consider creating new positions if you really think that there is a need for it. Convince me. But yes, again, these leadership opportunities, this is really a great thing to have on your resume as well. It certainly helped me. Um, so before we, you know what, sure, let's go into, to wrap things up, let's talk about what the IEEE actually is. So I've just discussed essentially what the IEEE student organization is. Now, the actual global IEEE, it stands for the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. That's probably one of the first things I should have gone over. But essentially, it's like the largest technical organization on the planet. So this is their mission statement. They want to foster technological innovation and excellence for the benefit of humanity. So what they actually do is extraordinarily impressive. The IEEE publishes a third of the world's technical literature in electrical engineering, computer science, and electronics. The IEEE has outgrown its name significantly. Do not let the electrical and electronics engineers fool you into thinking that this is all electrical engineers. It's not. Everyone is in the IEEE essentially, no matter what field you're in. If you're a technical professional who works in computer science, communications, any of this stuff, even data science and these higher level fields, it's all, most of the publications are still IEEE publications, and most of the conferences are IEEE conferences. So I do want to point out the fact that the IEEE sponsors over 1,900 annual conferences, which is absolutely insane. That's over 6 conferences a day. There's 6 conferences. That means today there's 6 IEEE conferences going down in any given field. And these are some of the top conferences in every single field. And it's all IEEE sponsored essentially. So on top of that, the IEEE basically functions as a standards organization as well. So you might know about IEEE, I believe it's 754 is the big popular one that everyone knows and learns in class, which is floating point numbers. The IEEE basically wrote the standard on how we store floating point numbers in all of our computers. And on top of that, there's probably millions of other standards that impact all of your devices left and right that essentially we don't even know or think about. So moving on, essentially, again, the IEEE is a global organization, hundreds of thousands of members from all around the world, collaborating on lots of technical projects. There's, wow, basically 500,000 IEEE members, and basically 50% of them are from outside the United States. So it by no means is the IEEE a US-based organization. It truly is a international organization. And just to finish things up, I'm going to go over the IEEE membership grades. Student members, essentially, that's us. It's full-time students earning a 3 to 5 year degree in IEEE designated fields. IEEE designated fields, again, that's basically like any STEM field that's technology related, right? That's primarily investigating technology. Member grade, this is like people who have graduated college and they have 3 to 5, they either have a 3 to 5 year degree or they have 6 years of work experience in an IEEE field. Senior grade members are members who basically have 10 years of professional practice and they've made a significant achievement in either publication, responsibility, or management. So this is like upper level management in tech companies or people or professors who have made significant research contributions. And then finally, the cream of the crop is the fellow members. And these are only available by nomination and for having extraordinary achievement in IEEE designated fields. And only 0.1% of IEEE members can become fellows each year. And what's really cool is the fact that this is considered like one of the crowning achievements of being a person in a technology related field. In fact, we have 2 IEEE fellows right in our department. Dean Kim L. Boyer is an IEEE fellow, as well as Randy Moeller. So it's really great that we have these resources like right at our disposal, and the fact that like we have fellow grade members. Like if you ever see IEEE fellow, that's like the highest level of achievement that you can achieve as a technical professional. One of them, besides like, winning the Nobel Prize or the Turing Award or stuff like that, right? This is like the highest achievement any normal person would ever get in one of these fields. So again, I should point out here that the IEEE is to be a student member in our organization is completely free. But if you want like the to get the if you want to become an e-board member, you actually have to buy the student membership. And if you want to become a real member afterwards, then you do have to pay the monthly dues, or not the monthly dues, the yearly dues. But essentially, the benefits greatly outweigh the the dues, essentially, because you are literally in the largest technical organization in the world. And I mean, they also send you some free stuff every year, so that's also very nice. So moving on, to wrap things up, I figured all of the IEEE board members could just give a quick little overview of who they are, what grade they're in, what they do, and kind of just how the IEEE has helped them. So I don't know if we're going to hear from everyone tonight. I don't know if all of our e-board members are here. Assuming they are, we will. If they're not, that's fine. So we'll start with me. So my name is James Oswald. I'm the chair of the IEEE at the moment. Um, I've basically, for a while, I worked as a full stack web developer, and then now I work as a research aide in the data mining and management lab. Of course, I'm the chair of the IEEE. I said that already. I'm a senior here, and I'm planning on going to graduate school next year. So that's a lot of fun. Yes, and the IEEE has helped me a lot over. It's actually been like 1 year since I found the IEEE. My first IEEE meet. Well, I've been in the IEEE for a while, but my first serious IEEE meeting, which I went like because I was really interested in moving up in it, was actually exactly 1 year ago. It was basically this general interest meeting exactly 1 year ago, where I really took an interest in the IEEE and decided, oh, this is actually something I really want to go to a lot more. So over the course of just this 1 year, it's really been incredible what the IEEE has done for me. I've learned like tons of new technologies. I've had a lot of great feedback on some of my side projects, and it's been great. Especially the Monday coding night interviews for me have been a really good exercise in just brushing up on my algorithmic knowledge. Um, I'm gonna hand things over to Connor so he can chat for a second about what his experiences with the IEEE.
Sure. Hi, I'm Connor Walsh. I'm a senior here at UAlbany. I'm a computer science major and a math minor. Um, so the IEEE gave me an opportunity to meet with and talk about technical topics that you couldn't talk to with just anyone, people in the relevant field. It's very good to be able to go to meetings and talk to people who also know what they're talking about and learn from them rather than having to explain everything. It also provided me with a leadership experience for my resume as the vice chair. So I do recommend, trying to stay and trying to get a leadership experience for your resume.
Thank you, Connor. I forgot to list what my resume was, or not what my major was. So I'm a
Ah,
computer science and mathematics double major. Yes. So Carolyn, let's hear from
Hello,
you.
I'm Carolyn Kaminsky. I am the graduate vice chair. I am a PhD student. I work in the data mining lab, and I, IEEE has been a lot of fun. I've learned some really cool stuff from some of the workshops, but I think I've learned even more when I give a workshop because you really have to review everything and make sure you have it down, all the details. And yeah, is there anything else that I should cover?
I think that's good. Thank you for sharing, Carolyn. Josh.
Yeah, so hello everyone. My name is Josh, and I'm a sophomore with computer science and applied math major. And I was a secretary last year, and I'm currently a treasurer this year. And the as I took an internship recently, I learned machine learning and Android application building. So I plan to do workshops in those two fields. And I live in Korea, so the time change is a bit difficult. But if you wanna build Android application or wanna learn machine learning, you can contact me at any time. So Yep, that's about it.
Thank you, Josh. It's great to hear from you as well. Tony.
Hi, everybody. I'm Tony. So I'm the secretary this year. It's my first year being the secretary, and I'm a junior, and I'm also a computer science and applied mathematics major. And in terms of what the IEEE has given me, definitely a lot of friends, and it's given me a lot of knowledge and a lot of good experience. Um, and I know for a fact that I'm a better presenter and public speaker than I was before, just because of all the presentations you have to give here. And also going off of what Carolyn said before, you definitely learn a lot when you're giving your own presentation. So, if there's that one side project that you just need some extra motivation to kind of start, then definitely give a presentation here. You'll definitely learn a few things, get that going, and then also gain some presenting experience. And we're also going to be giving out a lot of workshops, and you're going to be learning a lot of things that you wouldn't learn typically at the UAlbany curriculum here. Um, like what Josh said, he's going to be giving some Android workshops, and I can tell you already that there's no class here where you'll be learning Android. So um, if you want to learn something cool, then stick around.
Thank you, Tony. Yeah, I completely agree. It's being able to get up and present in front of a room is a very important skill set that you build it a lot. And clearly I'm still fumbling over my words. I haven't mastered the art of presentation yet, but it definitely helps getting up here and speaking in front of groups of people about technical topics. And it's especially great if you already know the topic, because then you've mastered the topic and you're able to share it with people, and that gives you a real confidence boost in your public speaking ability. So, Robin, let's hear from you.
Hello, I'm Robin. I'm a senior computer science major and math minor, and I'm a webmaster in IEEE position right now. And I think like just being in the IEEE and giving out some workshop, and I actually host the whiteboard coding on Monday, which I learned myself a lot hosting it, because I actually have to do same thing as you guys do. Like I give out the questions, I solve them myself in 30 minutes too, and then share my solution. And I think like just practicing those kind of things and giving workshop, it made like think process got really way better than before I got into IEEE. And this like 1 year of being an IEEE member, I learned more than like a 3 years of computer science like degree right now. And yeah, that's about it actually. Yeah.
Thank you, Robin. That's definitely an astute observation. I agree. There's for those of you, especially in the computer science program, you might know that our computer science program isn't especially well renowned. So it definitely helps to have the IEEE on the side, bulking up your computer science knowledge on top of the stuff that you may or may not be learning in class, depending on who's teaching it. So I also wanted to point out. Tony said something that I wanted to comment on, but I completely forgot. So due to that, we are going to, oh, you know what? So before we move on, are there any JBoard or DBoard members who'd like to share their experiences? I know I asked in the officers chat and I didn't get any responses, but.
I'm here.
Oh, Nick, would you like to share your experience? That
Yeah.
would be great.
What's going on, guys? Currently a sophomore here at Albany, and I am the junior secretary, I believe. And yeah, I was actually kind of shocked when I first came here onto like the UAlbany Discord. A friend referred me, and I saw like we have this whole club, and seeing that's like connected, beyond like college, and like you can basically build these connections internationally, as you build on further on with this. So if anyone's like considering, do I really want to do this or not? Like if you're in computer science or any like computer related field or whatever, you should definitely consider it, since it will go further. And just to build on to what they were saying before, how I like to think about it is like class is like your veggies. That's like your kale, your spinach or whatever. Who wants that? That's boring. Blech. This is the steak. IEEE is like the steak, or like all different kinds of meat, and you get to like see a different kind of meat each week, and you actually get to like, enjoy it and, learn in an interesting way. It keeps your mind active. All right, I'll stop talking now.
Nick, I never knew you were such a good public speaker. I'm gonna be looking to you to give some workshops this semester. That's great. Um, any other J board members or D board members want to talk about their experience with the IEEE before we move on?
Sure. Let me get my camera on. What's up? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
So my name is Matthew. I'm the junior chair of the IEEE, and I'm a transfer student. And I'm relatively new to CS. It's like my second semester. I think the biggest takeaway from the IEEE is just, I guess, the support you get. Right, the workshops are nice, and but having just a group of people that you can always rely on to talk to. The amount of times I've hit up James or Tony or Connor and just obscene way aspects of code that I can't figure out on my own, but I know I can reliably, talk to these guys about it, and they'll hop on a call and they'll talk to me and they'll work it out with me. That kind of support system you really can't get, without like paying a dude on Fiverr to tutor you. But I mean, the workshops are great, but it's just everyone on this e-board, I can think of a specific scenario where they've helped me personally when I had to hit them up, with a problem. And that's invaluable in every aspect. So if you guys are considering joining, I can't vouch for these guys enough.
Thank you, Matt. And you're no slouch yourself. You do computer science tutoring now as well. So you as well are fully available to help people and very qualified in your own right to help people out. So thank you for the kind words, Matt. We appreciate it. Any other D board or J board members want to talk before, or any normal members? Oh, hi, Dan.
Yeah. So I'm Daniel Brown. I'm the intelligence director. I'm a electrical and computer engineering, and the IEEE, it's helped me. It's just kind of pushed me into the world of programming, which I know not a lot about, but it's having people to help you and resources to guide you. It's important. It's better than just looking it up or anything, really. Just having an actual person.
100%. I agree, Dan. It's great to have lots of resources, and hopefully this semester, I know we've kind of pushed our electrical and computer engineering student members, into the closet. But this semester, we're definitely going to be making a big effort to help out all of the computer engineering people as well. But of course, it's important to get a dialogue between the computer science and the computer engineering people, right? Because there's a lot of good overlap, and I feel like it's definitely valuable. As a programmer, you should also be learning about the computer engineering side of things. Be able to know how the processor works and how all the circuits work. That's invaluable, and it really helps you with your algorithmic thinking as a programmer. And on top of that, for the electrical engineering people, of course, a lot of the electrical engineering stuff nowadays is done. They do a lot of programming as well. So they're programming in MATLAB and everything. And there's also stuff like VHDL and these hardware descriptor languages, which are effectively just programming languages, so that you're designing your circuits in, right? So it's definitely good that we're able to, in this organization, have a good open dialogue between the computer engineering, the electrical engineering, and the computer science people all in one. Even if we're not necessarily all interested in the high level aspects of each other's fields, it's definitely good to, go get down and dirty and look at all of like the little things that relate to your own field within each other's fields and to see the overlap. And that's a good part of being a well-rounded technical person, essentially. So thank you, Daniel, for your contribution. Anyone else want to speak on e-board or not e-board, J-board or D-board?
Sure. I'm Emily. I'm the outreach director. I'm a computer science and applied math major. I'm a junior, also a transfer. So I have a lot of titles. And honestly, so when I first transferred here, I joined the listserv email for IEEE. I think I went to, I don't know, some outreach thing or some general interest meeting, but I didn't actually start going to meetings. I was a little intimidated, but I decided to start going to the meetings this past fall, and like immediately, I guess I proved myself wrong. Like, this is just the best group of people. I feel incredibly supported by everyone. It's really gotten me to start thinking outside the classroom and actually thinking about what I like and, trying new things. And yeah, I can't say enough about this club, really. Everybody should join. It's great. Love new people.
We do.
We're happy to see you all here today.
Thank you, Emily. Thank you for the kind words. And I 100% agree with your statement. Everyone should join the IEEE. It's a great experience. And I'm sure everyone who does join is going to learn quite a bit this semester. And so anyone else, this is last call before we move on? I'm going to take that as a no. Thank you to everyone who participated. I'm glad we got so much J-Board and D-Board members singing our praises, because I didn't expect that. I thought it was just going to be the E-Board, but thank you everyone who participated. So finally, just to wrap things up here, it's almost been an hour. Any questions from people here about the IEEE, and literally anything? You can ask anything about any of the stuff that we just went over. You also could have stopped me during the presentation, but I didn't say that. So if you have any questions that you have, ask them now. You can also join our Discord at this link. We're going to post this in the chat. Now, I know Discord can be somewhat intimidating for people who've never used Discord before, but I highly recommend taking a look at Discord, even if you don't trust Discord, because A, the entire computer science department has Discord, and they're all in the computer science server. And that computer science server is probably one of the best resources in the Albany computer science community to just chat with everyone. And on top of that, bot development is a great thing to have. And we are going to be having a lot of our normal events on Discord, because it's just so convenient with multi-person screen sharing and everything. So primarily we're going to be on our Discord. Does anyone, can someone grab the link? So you know what, I'll just grab it. Let's go. And I'm going to post that in the chat right there. Okay, and back to the presentation mode. So stay tuned for more info on next week's workshop. We're going to be doing time complexity in next week's workshop. Now, and time complexity is a very interesting topic. And one of the main reasons that we're having this workshop, it's so that people during our Monday night software development interview question practice, we discuss time complexity a lot in those, because that's something that companies are always going to go over. They're going to want to know that you're able to identify time complexities. So for us to be, so we're going to have a whole workshop next week on how you can read over code and look at algorithms and essentially figure out what the time complexity is. And Connor was nice enough to volunteer to give this presentation for us. And then also tomorrow night at 8 p.m., we're going to have our side project development night. And that's going to be just us chatting about stuff. Chatting about, developing side projects. And as you might remember from some of the side projects that we showed off here, essentially we just review stuff that people have worked on. We go over some of our code. And again, not limited to software. If you have any hardware projects, feel free to pull up and discuss hardware. I'd love to talk hardware, but everyone who shows up to these always wants to discuss software projects. But if you have a cool breadboard project or an Arduino project that you want to show off, pull up and I'd love to take a look at that as well. So just to wrap things up, any questions from any of the people here? If you're not comfortable talking in the chat, feel free to, if you're not comfortable, unmuting and asking a question, you can also ask it in the chat. So, any questions?
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, sorry. Who? Okay. It seems like there's a lot of online. Oh, sorry. Is someone else talking too?
No, you can go. You can go first. I'm sorry.
Okay, sorry. All right. So it seems like there's a lot of online resources, but I felt like asking anyway. So like, it may or may not be a dumb question, but how would the experience be for students that are not on campus as opposed to those that are on campus right now?
No difference. Every single event is online. So that was one of
Okay,
our
okay.
big. It's kind of unfortunate because, of course, it is unfortunate because we have no in-person events, and it's just too much of a hassle to rent the rooms and everything during COVID. And honestly, I want to say that we've had a better experience online than we would have had in person, just simply because of the fact that it's less work to set up all of these events, especially when you're meeting 3 times a week. It's a lot less to take out the commute time to go to campus and physically meet with people. It's a lot easier to just log on to Discord, join the Discord call, and sit in for an hour, half an hour on these calls that we have on all of these topics, right? So yeah, the experience it's completely the same for people on campus and off campus. I'm right next to campus, except I've been banned from campus because I did not do my weekly COVID testing. So there, not
It'd be like that.
intentionally. I got the exemption, but I'm right next to campus. But it's no there's yeah. I think most of our members are off campus, and we've been basically the club has been running off campus for the past semester, and this semester we will continue running things off campus. I think next semester potentially things are going to be back in person, and I wish whoever the e-board chair is at that time the best of luck getting things back in person. Yes. So yeah, no difference.
All right. Thank you.
No problem. Any other questions?
Yeah, I just had a question about iOS app development.
Oh yes.
Do you guys do that? Because I saw the Android on the playlist.
Oh yeah. So we actually do have iOS app development. One of our members, Robin, the webmaster, one of our workshops actually, it didn't say it, but during the personal project showcase, Robin actually showcased a big iOS app last semester, a calculator that he worked on. So that was very cool to see. And yeah, we have people who know how to do iOS development. And if you're interested in iOS development, feel free. Like that's definitely a topic. Just and thank you for letting us know that that's something you're interested in. We can add that to our list of potential workshop topics. And I'm sure there's a lot of other people who are also interested in iOS development, considering it's such a it's a big industry, right? Especially in current times with and nowadays you got stuff like React Native, where you can just do iOS development using JavaScript frameworks and then deploy on multiple platforms at the same time. So there's a lot of cool technologies in the pipeline for iOS, and I think that we definitely have people who would be able to discuss iOS stuff at a high level with you if you wanted help with iOS stuff, or if you wanted to bring that to a side project development night. Yeah, it would be we could look over stuff like that.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Any other questions? Is stuff going down in the chat? Hang on, let me take a look at the chat. When's first meeting? Yeah, so we have 3 meetings a week. We have Monday nights, and we put out our schedules in the Discord and an email blast on Sunday nights, essentially. So if we take just going through things day by day, Monday nights are professional development nights. Tuesday nights are administrative meetings. Everyone's welcome to come to administrative meetings. But it's like budget stuff and just like stuff to keep the club running, right, under the hood. Wednesdays and Thursdays are workshops. The host gets to determine which day to host the workshop on, whatever works best for them. And then Fridays is side project development night. And that's basically the IEEE weekly schedule. You don't have to come to everything, of course. It's come to whatever you're interested in. If you've worked on code one week but not the next week, you can come to side project development night 1 week and skip it the next week. We're really not enforcing attendance. Just come to the stuff that you really want to be at, essentially, is the idea. So yeah. Any other questions? No? I think in that case, no questions? Last chance. All right. In that case, thank you for coming, everyone. I hope to see all of you at future meetings. I hope that this presentation interested you enough that like I didn't see that many people leave. Then again, we have 2 pages of people. Oh my gosh. So maybe there were people who left and I just wasn't able to see it because we had so many people in this. This is definitely more people than we had last time.
Wait, James,
Yes,
we're having
Josh.
financial meeting right after this, right?
No, we rescheduled that to Tuesday.
All right, sorry about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the thing. Yeah, no, don't worry about it. Yeah, so that's everything, I think. Does anyone, so no other questions in that case? Thank you for coming, everyone. I appreciate it. I hope to see you all at future meetings and have a good night. Bye.
Hi, thank you.
Thanks for
Good night,
coming.
guys.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.